And right now, you're putting it in next to the school? That's the building in the back
Yeah, I mean,
right corner. Can you pull up the aerial view?
because that's church, actually, it's farther to the right. You'll see.
So we don't have a full aerial view of the whole lot. I mean, could you tear up where you're putting it now?
What's that?
Could you change where you're putting it now into?
No, because that's the main entrance to the, what do you mean tear up where it's going now? It's going on, it's stored on pavement right now.
Okay,
It's not on a grass area, it's on
Okay.
pavement.
all right, I understand that.
No,
But
it's all
where
just-
where you're storing it, can that be reverted to grass?
It wouldn't matter, you're not gonna change the, no, I mean, no, it's all brand new, but you're not gonna change the grading of it. Where it runs, see where those cars are parked?
Yep,
It runs down through there, runs out where that chain link fence is in the upper right-hand corner, which is, the Gabriel project, which is the daycare center. I mean, it all runs right down through there. That's just the way of the natural lay of the parking lot. You're not gonna change where the water's going to go.
but what you're telling us is you wanna pave that area and put snow there because you don't like how the snow melt runs now.
Yeah, and it freezes.
Okay.
I mean, it's
So
so
if you
flat.
put it there,
It
then,
comes straight out.
but if you put it there, then the area where you do put the snow, what are you gonna do there? You're gonna revert it to parking in the wintertime?
No, it's not going to be any parking. It's not gonna increase the parking. I mean,
Then,
that little bump out is going to be paved. It's all parking in front of there, since it's been paved, it's been restriped where it says the NTS, which is not to scale.
yep,
Right there, that's all striped, that's existing parking now. It's not, I mean, those parking places aren't gonna change. Even though it's gonna be paved, I mean, it's not for parking, that's not the intention.
I guess you're missing what I'm saying is, you've got an area where you put the snow now,
Yes,
and you're moving where the snow's going.
it's stored in existing parking now, it's striped for parking. It's stored
Okay,
in a parking lot now.
so when you move it over, then you're gonna revert that area to parking and not snow storage.
Yeah, it's existing parking now, yes.
So I guess essentially what you're asking for is more winter parking as well as,
Not really, I mean, it's summer parking, I mean, you're losing, I'm not asking for more winter parking, you lose that parking during the winter. It's parking now.
but essentially what you're doing is you're paving more area.
Yeah, that little area right there.
Yeah. And you're deficient on coverage now, or on open space, and you're asking for more deficiency.
Yes,
And we're trying to look at ways to alleviate that.
really, I mean, the main reason is a safety hazard, that's the, taking the snow and putting it here will run straight down to South Catherine Street into the drainage system. Instead of running down through, out through the main, it's crossing the main entrance of the old school, which is the parish offices, like I said, the daycare center, what else is in there? The store, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, what else goes in there? Head Start? Head Start's in there, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes in
Where's the
there.
water gonna run when that snow melts? From that area, where's the water gonna
It's
go?
gonna run straight down the center between the two parking, between the two, like the dock, the stalls, whatever you wanna call them, in between. You've got parking on both sides, it'll go down in between. Yeah.
But is it
And
gonna,
there's-
is the melt off gonna stay on the property, or is it gonna?
Well, if you can see the small garage, right there, yep, right where that car's parked, there's a catch basin right there.
Okay,
That's gonna catch a lot of that. And it'll, and go into the system from there. Which it did, it just found its way to the street, basically. Was it ever a drainage problem on Waterhouse? No, it's not.
Could it be a gravel lot to store snow on?
If you're gonna have it pushed all over again, I mean,
Well, no, but
It could be.
gravel lots, if they're not parking, gravel lots don't count towards opens.
I mean, it could be, I mean, again, but when it's, you know, if it's not frozen when you plow, again, you're gonna have stones.
I understand that,
It
but
could be gravel, I mean, if that's what, you know, if that's their only
I-
option.
the issue is, it's not that, if it was like if 50% was required, you would 48%, we're gonna go down to 46% or 45%, is one thing, but if 50% is required, you only have 21%, in other words, it's way over paved already. The point is to try and stay away from adding more paving. I understand that, we're gonna open to the public in a minute, but I understand the need to, you know, I mean, some people haul snow away. The real issue is trying not to, because, again, we're always concerned about precedent, setting precedents. Somebody else is gonna come and say, well, you let OLVA go from 21 down to 17% when 50 was required. That's part of what we need to avoid. In other words, and we'll talk about how you store snow or whether you haul snow away or not, that's a different thing. But again, paving is different than gravel lots, and I understand gravel lots are more maintenance, but that's something, that doesn't come to us as a variance request. Is that correct, Joe?
Right,
Huh?
as long as it's not used for parking.
Right, as long as it's not for parking. That's not a variance request at that point. But, do you guys have a question before I open to the public? All right, I'm gonna open this to the public. I'm looking for comments. Stand up, identify yourself.
I'm Kelly Porter. I live at 88 Waterhouse Street. On one of the pictures, you can see my house is, the lot that you're referring to is directly in front of my house.
You right in there?
Yes. So I have several comments to make about this. I've lived in this home since 1995. For 25 years, you guys have been plowing the snow and putting it on that grass spot. There have been huge snow piles there that, I mean, you've been stowing your snow there for the 25 years that I've lived there. So to say that you're storing it mostly in the corner, and I'm assuming that you're referring to the corner that's over in this area, this bottom corner area?
Yeah, up by the entrance of the school.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
over in here.
that's not really the entrance to the school. It's a corner that's kind of tucked away where there's a chain link fence and a bunch of trees. And there's significant distance between the corner that she's referring to and the actual door to the building. There's certainly plenty of space to store snow and to get in there and do some sanding or salting, whatever. And I also, I'm finding it interesting that you're saying that that's an issue when you're talking about the water would run from that green space down the center. This is an old person's home. I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
how you would refer to it. an
There's a
aging
catch
home.
basin. that-
And you also have the main entrance to the church right here. So those are two significant areas of
Runs down the center.
egress. The point being that it's gonna be just as much of an issue with icing in that area as it would be over by the school. The other part of this is that that area to the right of the red writing is a playground. And you're already, that's a paved, an entire paved parking lot, and you're looking at diminishing the green space for children that are playing there all summer, and, you know, they're part of the daycare and I think preschool that's there. I personally, just for myself, like I said, I've lived here for 25 years, just spent over $10,000 on my porch, and to look at more paving when the whole church parking lot is so significantly paved right now, and now you wanna add more paving to it, I think it would definitely be a detriment to the neighborhood. I don't see that there's a need. I don't see if they've been storing their snow there for 25 years, why all of a sudden is it an issue? I guess that's my bigger question. And they've definitely been storing it there. I can supply multitudes of pictures. My son here has been playing on those snowbanks since he was little. Like I guess that's what I wanna say,
Okay.
is that,
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Nope. I'm gonna close the public hearing portion of this. One thought might be to think about gravel area, which you'd have to do to pave anyway. And then, you can here's a couple, I'm just giving you some options. You could postpone, because we only have 4 members voting, I understand about the quorum, but our next meeting is November, what,
18th.
huh?
18th.
18th. But anyway, that doesn't, a gravel lot has nothing to do with us. If you wanna come back at another time to talk about it, there is a concern about how little open space there is now. That, I mean, for whatever reason, whether it's for snow, parking, and of course, one of the other things is that once stuff gets paved, and it gets full in there, people are may or may not park. I know that that's,
You can have bumpers across it in the summer.
okay, but anyway,
Non-snow
yeah,
ones.
but that's real, the real concern is this 21% when 50 is required. That's really it's hard for us to get past that. Whether we like or don't like it, or it's bad or good, or where the water goes, or any of that one thing is what sort of sticks here. So you can, as an example, have us postpone on our behalf, not your behalf. You get one postponement. The 18th is before, I don't know when the course closes this year or not. But anyway, you can do or not do a gravel lot there, because that's outside of our jurisdiction. That's not a variance request. Or what happens is, if we continue, then we would do the seeker first, okay? It's not necessarily, I don't see the seeker as being so much of an issue. I mean, I know it's not an environmental, it's really an open space issue. It's the same water, okay? So that's not the issue. And then there'd be a vote to try and get 3 votes to exceed, to further diminish an already pretty deficient open space issue. So we can do that now, we can postpone it, you can think about the gravel lot. Trying to give you some options.
You can tell us how you're gonna vote.
Huh?
I said, you wanna tell us how you're going to vote?
Well, and the other thing is, if it is voted down, you cannot come back with the same plan
For a year.
for a year, even if we have a different makeup of the board.
I would tell you that in the pre-meeting, there were not a lot of favorable comments about such a big deficiency. I'll say it that way. I'm kind,
What's your answer?
so why don't we postpone on our behalf? You can think about it, look at it, think about other snow removal or snow stockpiling things. If you decide to do a gravel lot, that's outside of our jurisdiction. It becomes land, as long as it's not for parking, which I know you can stop that. That is outside of our jurisdiction. I'm just giving you the true facts about, the real issue is that the open spaces, and we know how it got there, and it's a deeded non-deficiency. Nobody's saying take some out, but it's hard to say do more, especially because other people are gonna come after us. Would you like us to postpone on our behalf? Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion in regards to Appeal 2223 for Our Lady of Victory Church to postpone on the board's behalf for up to 2 meetings.
Yeah, okay.
Second.
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so you're postponed, you can come back next month, you can start to think about a gravel lot, snow removal. Okay?
Okay,
All right, thanks.
thank you.
Thank you.
Jamie,
Yes.
call Joe too if you have questions, because he can help you decide what you want to do next month.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.
No, no.
It's like, but it's what we should do, right?
It's what we would do.
It's what we would do. Hey, Mike?
I wanted
Okay,
to
this
see her
is-
dig up some other pavement. I wanted to see her get rid of some pavement
Yeah.
in exchange, you know. much
Well,
like-
that's another
much
option
like
too,
the
and they
state
can
of
think
New
about
York.
that.
Yeah.
If
Is-
they came back and said, we're not gonna decrease it.
There's no, Joe, there's no issue with, lot line or anything like that with their variance
Paving
request.
within 3 feet or anything?
No,
Okay, it was purely area,
no. if
cover,
they were
or
using-
coverage.
Okay.
If they were using it
Right,
for
Mike?
parking, it would have been in the front yard of Waterhouse Street.
Hey, Mike? Well,
Okay,
I have the old application and the new one. Should I just use the new one?
Sure.
are they
Well, I mean, I'm
different?
saying, this is the old one, this is the new one. New one,
The application or the drawings? I don't think
Everything.
we redid the application, we updated the drawings.
okay, so I'm just gonna leave here, that you can have, that's old. Okay? And this is Dean Sneller, 121 Bridge Street is his address, to 98 Point Avenue, Plattsburgh, New York. Property owner is Henry and Alice Fortin. Changes for a two-family residence to a law office with accessory two-dwelling units. Use of professional office in an R2 zone requires a special use permit. Now, did you notice that? I didn't know.
Yeah, she
Just
sat
said-
out on last time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, because
Yeah,
she
yeah,
represents
that's right.
the
Sellers.
sellers. Yes, she was very specific
I
about it.
forgot that. Okay, so, last time we were here, we voted to have, planning board be lead agency, but now I'm told we don't.
Correct, so we mistakenly were under the directive that, because it was historic review, it was automatically a coordinated review.
Right.
But Milena Tamer of the Community Development Office, the planner, has found that this year seeker changed in that if you don't meet a 25% change threshold, it doesn't trigger coordinated review. So on such a small scale project, technically, it's not a coordinated review, which means the planning board passed their seeker negative declaration and historic site review. So we'd ask your board to do your own seeker and as part
Okay,
of
so
the
we'll do our-
special use.
We're just
permit.
doing our shit. Okay, that's really all that mattered about all that. And again, this is a, special use permit because the use is allowed in the district with a special permit. And,
And no variances for parking.
No
or
variances
anything
for
like that.
parking or
You
anything.
meet everything.
all right,
Yes, it's for a special use for a professional office in the R2 zone.
um, just so we understand special use permits. Okay? Pay attention, this is good.
Classes in session.
This is exciting. But anyway, special use permits for, if upon receipt of such application, the building inspector determines the excavation, construction, or use of the land for which application made requires issuance of a special use permit, the building inspector shall forward the application to us. Such special use permits, however, may be authorized by the zoning board of appeals only upon satisfaction of each instance of such conditions as to the general character, height, and use of the structure or structures. This is important, this is really what, yeah, they're a matter of right, like relatively, unless it infringes on, but we should understand this, it's gonna be a topic for a while. As to the provision for automobile parking or storage, and as to street capacity and use, as in the opinion of the board, may be necessary to safeguard public health, convenience, and as may be required for the preservation of the general character of the neighborhood in which such building and or structures be placed or such use to be conducted. Anyway, I can read, there's a bunch more, but that's basically, has to fit the neighborhood. I mean, they're barely changing this house, it's fit the neighborhood over. However, let's say they were gonna put in a giant, and they had the parking, they're gonna put in some big giant law firm with a huge professional office. It could theoretically infringe, change the character of Boynton Avenue as an example or something. That's all. But that's what special use permits, even though they're a matter of right, that's what we're doing here. We're saying that this fits the neighborhood, takes care, is adequate for all the stuff, and all that, okay? I think, I don't seem to have much of a question about it, it's barely changing, it's really interior changes, and it's, it's not, I don't even know if people are gonna know much about it.
Correct, from the street, there's gonna be almost no visual change. The sign will be on the side of the porch facing the driveway, and potentially the ramp for handicap
Mhm.
access would also be facing the back of the lot. So from the streetscape, there won't be any noticeable changes. That's the driveway.
But I mean, it's, you stuck this in with Photoshop, the sign, and
Yes.
great job, I thought it was beautiful.
I didn't do it, I can't take credit.
Well, something anyway. And basically, you're just taking one of the unit spaces to make an office, is that correct?
Correct. The downstairs, the first floor level currently is one residence, but it's quite large. So Mr. Schneller will incorporate his office into a portion of the first floor, renovate slightly, and then can still have a first floor dwelling unit. So
Right.
he'll go from a 2 dwelling unit structure
I
to
mean-
a professional office with 2 accessory dwelling units.
Yeah, he's taking like sort of the front of it and a little bit down the back side, the sides. Great. All right, first I'm gonna have the board, does anybody on the board have any questions regarding this? No. I'm gonna open this to the public. Anybody in the public? Questions? Questions? Comments? Closing the public hearing portion. Let's do the seeker then, shall we? This is because it's a special use permit, this is a long form seeker. Okay, let's see if they got it right. Do you think they did or not?
Well, it's already been approved by the, it's already been approved by the planning board, right?
No.
Same seeker?
Correct, yes.
The same seeker?
Yeah.
Well, I just wanna see something, county agency.
Yeah.
The only other thing, other local agencies should be yes, and that would be building permit. Okay?
Okay.
I mean, nitpicking, but that's true, what you said.
Sure.
Otherwise, I mean, it's basically staying the same, except he's reusing some of the rooms. Is he adding parking?
Yes, so as part of the site, there's currently space for 4 vehicles, not including interior of the garage. So based on the professional office use, we're adding 3 additional parking spaces in the back of the property.
Is that new paving?
Yes.
So you'll have how many spaces? 7?
So this was the first application we made. We've since revised it. Instead of 2 parallel spaces here, there'll be 3 perpendicular spaces. And what that'll do is if he adds in a handicap ramp, one of the spaces can be striped as an access aisle, so he'll maintain compliance with the zoning ordinance for parking.
Right, yeah, it's how many,
So currently there's 4 existing spaces. We're gonna add 3, so it'll be a total of 7 parking spaces.
how many bedrooms are the units?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't.
But I mean, more than 2 adults in a unit? That's my question. Well,
College housing, 4 adults per unit.
well, no, but I'm talking about the parking. No, that's not what, so it'd be, because 3 adults would be 2 spaces per unit.
Yeah,
And he's got how many square feet of, office space? I just wanna make sure we're okay on this, I'm not trying to be.
yeah.
Jamie's in here.
So I believe the business space, the professional office is 775 square feet.
I think it's 750.
So the parking spaces were calculated at two total tenant parking spaces, 1 per dwelling unit, and then 4 office space parking spaces, which
Okay.
required 6. So we're providing 7 with the ability to stripe one for an access aisle, coming back down to 6 potentially. But that also.
Okay, so all I'm saying is then that they must be pretty small dwelling units so that they're like no more than 2 adults. In a dwelling unit, it would need the 1 space, right, Joe?
Yeah, or 2 families,
Huh?
or 2 families. Each unit requires 1 space.
Is, right.
And we're also not counting inside of the garage, so
Yeah,
technically.
because you can't get to it though. You have spaces in front of it, so you
Right.
can't count it.
Right.
I mean, you can count the inside of the garage and not the ones in front of it, same thing. But okay, so you're all right space-wise. You know, what I would tell you is that if any of that commercial space, if you got it to 750 instead of 775, you'd only need 3 spaces there.
Okay.
Just mentioning, so in case you wanted to, how the apartments are used. I'm only talking about how the apartments are used. If, that way you'd have 1 for, you
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Yes, yes.
All right, so does anybody have any questions on the seeker? I just want to know that the paving isn't enough to matter for the seeker. Does anybody have any other questions on the seeker, which has been approved by the planning board?
I'll make a motion in regards to Appeal 2218, after review of the full environmental assessment form, that this special use permit will have no significant impact, environmental impact.
Okay, seconded by Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion in regards to Appeal 2218 for Dean Schneller at project location at 98 Boynton Ave to grant a special use permit to change the use from a 2-family residence to a law office with accessory 2 dwelling units, as depicted in the application.
Alex, did you second it? No, not you. No, did Alex second? Trent, she's gotta get some action. Okay, so this is 2218. A yes vote is to approve.
Congratulations. I know, it is. I'll be there in a few years.
Okay, we have 4 positive votes. Mike, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Are you all done with the planning board now, then, or you got more?
Correct, he got the historic approval, so Mr. Schnell's
Great.
all done.
Oops.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Wesley? How are we doing today?
Good.
Okay, this is a Class B area variance. Put an addition to the first floor of the home in the side yard setback. This lot is in a district that allows 50-foot wide lots. It requires 50-foot wide lots instead of 75. So normally there'd be relief. Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, you can have that. That's, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That's the one they might come back. Sorry about that. Okay. We've known each other, by the way, for a long, long time. So just, I want people to know that, but it's not influencing my vote. Okay, so you want to put a new 8x10 bathroom on, which is about as small a building as you can put on there, realistically. You can only provide 5 feet where 10 is required. You have it on the other side, but the house is only 3 feet. And is that plenty big, the 8x10?
We assume it is, yes.
That's what you need, really, right?
Right, it's just,
Right. You wouldn't build it bigger.
no.
Okay. Just wanted to clear that up. Okay, it's big enough. I mean, it's just a bathroom, correct? I
It's-
say just, but,
Excuse me?
I say just a bathroom, but it's only gonna be used as a bathroom,
Correct.
right? So it's not, it's good size, right? It's fine for you, size-wise. Okay. The board have any questions about this?
It's pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
not a whole lot to it.
Is there, I'm gonna ask you though, I don't have a problem with the 5 feet, that's not the issue. I mean, I don't, the whole housing, we haven't gotten any correspondence on this, Joe?
No.
Is 8x10 big enough? Is there any reason that you'd wanna go 10x10?
Well, I'm not positive on that yet, I don't know.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you that I think it's a little tight. This is just my experience when I look at the tub and there's only 3 feet left for the toilet, and the way you might rearrange it, that you might want it to be 10 feet deep, and if we're gonna bother to give you a variance for 5 feet, for 8 feet, we might as well give it to you for 10 feet.
Okay.
I'm not trying, you know,
No, I have to,
It doesn't cost you any more here. It may
No,
cost
no,
you when you get
no,
it built,
I-
but
The reason I'm saying that is because I think, yeah, it's a decent sized, maybe that closet gets 2 feet bigger, I don't know. You know, I'm just saying, you might rearrange it. You know, you're 5 feet from the property line, whether it's 8 feet or 10 feet. We're supposed to give the minimum variance, but I think it also, we're obligated to say, this would be better for you if we think it is. And it doesn't, it really does not change the impact on the neighbor or the neighborhood or anything. So, I'd rather discuss it as 10 by 10.
okay.
Is that, anybody have, is that okay?
I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna, on your plan that I have, that's gonna go to her, I'm changing the 8 feet to 10 feet.
10 by
Okay.
10.
So, I have really no questions about it, Joe, the deficiency is 5 feet? Joe?
I'm
The
sorry.
deficiency is 5 feet, correct?
Yes, 5 feet from the,
There's no
The-
coverage issue, is
The
there?
required is 10 and he only has 5.
that's right.
Okay.
There's no
so-
coverage issue?
So it's 5 feet by the depth, whatever it is. The 8 was 40 square feet, now
Right,
it's 50 square.
50 square feet or whatever, but there's no coverage issue, correct?
No, they're fine on coverage and open space.
Okay. Does anybody have anybody have any comments from the public?
Better not.
Okay, I'm closing the public hearing portion. I'd like to do the seeker.
Number 2.
Yeah, number 2, don't feel bad, almost everybody does it wrong, is does it require permit approval from any other government? And the answer is yes, the ZBA for the variance. And building inspector for the permit. We'll change that up. Okay? Otherwise, I mean, it's certainly not gonna take any. The only thing I would tell you is when you look at it, talking about water, what I would tell you is, I'm not sure which way the roof's gonna slope. It's gonna slope from the house back?
Yes,
Okay, so you're gonna control that water on your own property anyway, whether you put a
Right.
gutter or something.
you're right.
Right, okay. That's about the only thing. I'm looking for a motion on the seeker, if anybody doesn't have any other questions about it.
I'll make a motion in regards to the Shore Environmental Assessment Form for Appeal 2222, that after review of Part 1, that the board check in Part 2, questions 1 through 11, no or small impact may occur, and as a consequence of that, the chair checked the box that we've determined that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts.
Second.
Same. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'm looking for a motion regarding the actual variance, changing it to 10 by 10 as opposed to 8 by 10.
I'll make a motion to appeal 2222 for Leslie and Barbara Lucas at 7 Stetson Ave for a Class B variance addition to the first floor, violating the front yard setback by 5 feet. Side yard setback, where 10 is required, they only have 5, and up to 10 feet back from the back of the house for a total of up to 50 square feet.
Seconded by
Second.
Meg. A yes vote is to approve. And you're all set? You'll build your 8 by 10 or 10 by 10? Okay? See, we're not always mean, right? It's tough.
We're all set?
Yeah, you're all set. Go see him, get a building permit, get your plans in, build your bathroom. Try and get the footers in now before winter.
Yeah, we're trying.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did he leave?
Yeah, I think he was just here and hadn't gone home.
Oh, you're
yet.
just here?
Just stopped in.
Yeah. Because it wasn't that thrilling.
Just, do you know who the guy was that was?
Okay.
Okay,
I don't.
All right.
that's Matthew Miller, the
You know,
CD director, community development.
Community
Oh,
Development Director.
you know I'm gonna hear about OLBA tomorrow, like, first thing in the morning.
The meeting's still
You
running,
know who that is?
the meeting's still running, by the way.
You know who that is that spoke, the woman? Jamie Luck. You know-
Oh,
Do you know who I
okay.
work for?
Lux.
Lux. It's all right. We did what we're supposed to do.
So that's Jamie Luck. Okay.
That's Jamie.
I've always heard the name.
Yeah, that's Jamie, the youngest one.
Okay.
All right, do we have any other
Yes.
minutes, right?
September 16th, 2019 meeting minutes. I'll make a motion that we,
Wait, I got a question.
yes.
Not that I think they're wrong, certainly, but I was wondering if, if they're all in favor, it doesn't matter, but if they're not, some are opposed,
Yes,
could we put in who voted yes and who voted no,
I think so. I have to check on that.
right? Because you've got the slips and stuff. The only reason I'm saying is somebody might, in the future might, for whatever, like Darlene Eddy, you know, we voted 2 in favor and 3 opposed. It'd be good to know in case for some reason it ever went further than here or somebody had a complaint. That way, we would know and know, if somebody complained, I'm not saying this is the case, but if somebody said, oh, that person didn't like me, that's the kind of stuff you can get. Then you can say, yeah, but they voted in favor or not, or, so if you can, okay, so just, obviously, if they're all in favor,
Or all opposed.
huh?
Or all opposed.
Or all opposed, but all the same way, then we know whoever attended did it. But I just, don't- that's the only comment, it's not even that it's wrong, it's just that, it's not that hard, right, that'd be okay.
I think so.
Yeah, okay. I mean, tonight, they were all either it was postponed or both of them were unanimous, so,
I mean, we do keep these in the file too.
huh?
We do keep these in the file too, so we
Yeah,
always.
yeah.
Well, but this is posted
But that's
online,
Yep.
and, you know,
Does anybody
somebody would
wanna
have to,
people know how they voted?
no, it's a matter of public record.
Yeah, right.
You know,
So-
it's like anything else, it's all out there, it's a matter of how hard you
Right,
have to dig to
right,
get the
Do
information.
you think, anyway,
I'm,
that's my
I'm
only
fine with
suggestion.
that.
Otherwise, I thought they were fine.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
Just- just don't put our phone numbers and addresses
Yeah.
yeah,
on the
Yeah.
denials. All right, I'll make a motion in regards to the, meeting minutes for September 16th, 2019, to approve them as written.
Second.
oh,
You can't,
Oh,
you weren't here.
oh, sorry. Second.
Was it good
All in
job?
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So you're all set with those?
Next month you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm keeping,
I just got
I'm
excited.
keeping the church, but, as far as OLBA went, I don't see how we, I mean, I think that's the best we can do with them is say, I don't think Kelly particularly liked it that I said gravel, but that's really what you have to tell them.
Oh, I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Absolutely. Seconded by Ellie? Come on, go ahead. All in favor?
Aye.